Corporate ethics and social responsibility. Ethics and corporate social responsibility are two critical concepts that every organization should prioritize in their operations. Ethics involves the application of moral principles to guide decision-making, while corporate social responsibility involves an organization's commitment to contributing to sustainable economic, social, and environmental development. Ethical deliberation. Ethical deliberation is the process of systematically considering and evaluating moral values and principles in order to make a well-reasoned ethical decision. It involves exploring different perspectives, analyzing the relevant facts, and weighing the various ethical considerations involved in a particular situation. Ethical deliberation is an essential process for individuals, organizations, and societies to make informed ethical decisions that are fair, just, and equitable. The process of ethical deliberation begins by identifying the ethical issue or dilemma that needs to be addressed. This could be a moral problem related to personal values, professional ethics, or societal norms. Once the ethical issue has been identified, the next step is to gather all the relevant information, facts, and perspectives related to the issue. Ethical deliberation also involves exploring and analyzing different ethical theories and principles, such as consequentialism, virtue ethics, and care ethics. Each of these theories provides a different approach to ethical decision-making and can be applied to different types of ethical issues. For example, virtue ethics are typically the motive behind a person's being kind or charitable. In addition to ethical theories, ethical deliberation also involves considering the ethical implications of various courses of action. This may involve evaluating the potential consequences of each option and determining which option is most consistent with ethical principles and values. Finally, ethical deliberation requires making a well-reasoned ethical decision. This decision should consider all the relevant facts, perspectives, and ethical considerations involved in the situation. It should also be consistent with one's personal and professional values and ethical principles. Ethical deliberation is an important process for individuals, organizations, and societies to make informed ethical decisions that are fair, just, and equitable. It requires careful consideration of all the relevant facts and perspectives, as well as an understanding of different ethical theories and principles. By engaging in ethical deliberation, individuals and organizations can promote ethical behavior and contribute to a more just and equitable society. The following are some practical frameworks for ethical deliberation. Number 1, the utilitarian framework. This framework involves making decisions based on the consequences that will result in the greatest good and the greatest number of people. It is based on the principle of maximizing overall happiness or utility. Number 2, the KANTIAN framework. This framework is based on the moral principle that individuals should act in a way that respects the dignity and autonomy of others. It involves making decisions that are consistent with universal moral principles regardless of their consequences. Number 3, the virtue framework. This framework involves making decisions that reflect virtues such as honesty, integrity, and compassion. It focuses on developing moral character and behaving in ways that are consistent with these virtues. Number 4, the care framework. This framework involves making decisions that are compassionate and considerate of others' well-being. It is based on the principle of caring for others and promoting their welfare. Function of normative ethics. Normative ethics is a branch of ethics that deals with the study of how we should act in moral situations. Its function is to provide us with a framework for making moral decisions based on values and principles that are considered morally right. It is most clearly defined as the quest for the practical truth about one's choices and actions. Normative ethics provides a guide for individuals and organizations to make decisions that are consistent with their moral beliefs and values. The DJR, Describing, Judging, and Responding Formula for Ethical Reasoning. The DJR formula for ethical reasoning involves 3 critical steps. Number 1, describing the situation. Number 2, judging the situation. And number 3, responding to the situation. The following is a breakdown of the DJR formula. Number 1, describing the situation. This step involves gathering all the relevant information about the ethical dilemma. It is essential to understand the context and the consequences of the decision. Number 2, judging the situation. This step involves evaluating the ethical dilemma and determining the best course of action. It is essential to consider the practical frameworks for ethical deliberation discussed earlier in this course. Number 3, responding to the situation. This step involves taking action based on the decision made in Step 2. It is essential to communicate the decision and implement it effectively. Corporate Social Responsibility. Corporate Social Responsibility, or CSR for short, is a business approach that involves companies taking responsibility for their social and environmental impacts of their operations. CSR is a concept that has gained significant importance in recent years as consumers and stakeholders increasingly demand that companies take a more active role in addressing social and environmental issues. The concept of CSR has gained prominence in recent times, as organizations are expected to not only make profits, but also take responsibility for their social and environmental impact. Ethics play a crucial role in ensuring that corporations behave responsibly. The primary goal of CSR is to create shared value for both the company and society. Companies that practice CSR aim to have a positive impact on society by promoting economic growth, social development, and environmental sustainability. At the same time, CSR also helps companies build their brand reputation and create long-term value for their stakeholders. It is essential for organizations to prioritize CSR because it can have significant impacts on their reputation, financial performance, and relationships with stakeholders. The following are some key concepts related to CSR. Number 1, stakeholder engagement. Organizations should engage with their stakeholders to understand their expectations and concerns. This engagement can help organizations develop CSR strategies that align with stakeholders' needs. Number 2, sustainable development. CSR should contribute to sustainable economic, social, and environmental development. This involves balancing economic growth with social and environmental responsibilities. Number 3, corporate citizenship. Organizations should act as responsible citizens and contribute to communities in which they operate. This can involve supporting local initiatives, promoting diversity and inclusion, and reducing environmental impacts.